welcome to the Acid Trash Jamboree, a channel dedicated to the weird side of music and cinema. Today we'll be shining a spotlight on some shot-on-video or SOV efforts, also known as extremely low-budget films, literally shot using camcorders back in the 80s and 90s. Now, all of these films were rescued from VHS-only cult obscurity and reissued on DVD a few years back, so let's take a look. We start with Alien Beasts from 1991, and good grief, this is some brain-warping SOV insanity. Yeah, answers on a postcard if you can figure out what on earth's supposed to be going on here between the infuriatingly muffled dialogue, the cut-up noise meets Casio keyboard preset demo musical score from hell, the endless static shots of randoms knocking 10 bells out of each other in suburban gardens, a scene where a girl in a black mask gets her boobs out then messes about with some nunchucks, numerous close-ups of thoroughly bemused alien monsters standing about in a derelict wasteland, or some bored-looking old bald guy sitting in a chair, all topped off with garbled narration by a fella that can barely string a sentence together, and yeah. Now, admittedly, to begin with, this grated on my nerves big time, though once it dawned on me that things probably weren't going to get coherent anytime soon, I was able to surrender my senses and attune to its madness a little bit. Yeah, as with fellow notorious SOV headmessers like Things and Science Crazed, it's almost admirable how director Carl J. Sukenik manages to sustain this level of delirious outsiderness for a full 75 minutes. Like I said though, it's got fights, titillation, and a smattering, or should that be a splattering of gore too? Indeed, thankfully Sukenik remembered to spice up his befuddling avant-garde sci-fi opus at least a little bit to stop us trash hounds going completely bananas. As a generous bonus on the DVD, you get both Mutant Massacre and its sequel, Mutant Massacre 2, which I started to watch thinking that they'd be two unique films, but no, confusingly, turns out that they're both just re-edited and remixed versions of the Alien Beasts material, combined with a few new scenes, though with less dialogue between the characters and more narration. Much more narration. And yeah, like a crazy fool, I experienced all three films on consecutive nights, and whilst admittedly I was flagging by the third night, overall I was much less bored than you'd expect whilst watching the same footage over and over again. Yeah, weirdly enough, on the second night I was arguably even more transfixed by the strangeness. Due to the way they're advertised and presented on this Horror Boobs and Massacre Video co-issued double DVD, with the first Mutant Massacre occupying its own disc and not even getting a mention on the outer packaging, I ended up watching the bonus movies the wrong way around, though seeing as they're pretty much interchangeable, I can't say it made much difference to my viewing experience, nor did it help me to understand the finer points of the plot, but never mind. So, looks like I struck it lucky and was just in the right frame of mind to absorb Sukenik's psychedelic fever dream visions. Needless to say, if you're not in the mood for them, or if you're not down with the SOV aesthetic to begin with, then these films may prove to be extremely hard-going, if not borderline unwatchable, so yeah, proceed with caution. On to Demon Queen, and during a violent altercation with some unhappy customers, small-time dealer Jesse has his bacon well and truly saved by a mysterious, imposing woman named Lucinda, who, unbeknownst to him, seeing as he's out cold on the pavement, is actually a terrifying demonic vampire creature who rips a chunk out of one of his assailants' throats with her teeth. Short of a place to crash, Jesse lets Lucinda stay at his for a while, much to the annoyance of his bad-tempered, substance-addled girlfriend Wendy. And it's not long before Jesse starts having erotic and disturbing nightmares about his new house guest, but will he realise the truth about Lucinda before these bloody nightmares turn into a reality? Meanwhile, the Demon Queen is out on the prowl, picking up other unsuspecting folk to pass her bloodthirsty curse onto. Now, this 1987 effort was Donald Farmer's first feature film, and overall it's a tight, flab-free little trash horror package. So flab-free, in fact, that it clocks in at less than an hour, and that's including several minutes of credits. Still, providing you don't mind the usual rough picture quality and the amateur hour acting, it's entertaining fare with some well-done blood and gore effects and some nicely ugly monster makeup in the movie's latter stages. Okay, so it runs out of steam a little at the end. In honesty, the closing scenes are a bit underwhelming, and I suppose the plot as a whole is nothing we haven't seen hundreds of times over. Still, after 3 nights of brain-mangling Karl Sukenik films, I was just happy to sit through anything with even a semblance of a plot. Demon Queen also chucks in a bit of then extremely topical social commentary, with several scenes taking place in a video rental shop, in which the owner seems obsessed with the effect that watching violent and gory films might be having on his customers. So there's some prime shot-on-video trash for you. All these films go for ludicrous amounts of cash on the second-hand VHS market, and yeah, even their DVD counterparts are quite rare nowadays. I've got a few more Donald Farmer films stashed away, which I'll no doubt be covering in the not-too-distant future. As for Karl Sukenik, well, colour me intrigued. I may just have to see what else is out there by this most unique director. In the meantime, though, please hit subscribe to be kept up to date with all the channel has to offer. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you again soon on the Acid Trash Jamboree.